David Haye did an interview on Radio 1 Extra today in which he said that if or when him and Anthony Joshua fight, he'll probably knock Joshua out in 1 round. I'll leave a link on screen right now, an annotation link to the interview so you can go watch it for yourselves, and also I'll leave a link in the comment section. Now, I remember a few years ago, I think it was either around the time of the Olympics or it was shortly after Joshua won a silver medal in the World Championships as an amateur. There was an interview with David Haye. I remember in the interview I think he was in his gym. And he said that he was glad that his own career was coming to an end because Anthony Joshua was on the rise. This was before Joshua even turned pro. Because, you know, the suggestion that Haye was making, I guess, was Joshua had a massive amount of potential, more potential than he'd ever seen, or that he'd seen in the heavyweight for a very, very long time. He was impressed with the way that Joshua was able to get a silver medal in the World Championships and be competing against the best amateurs in the world with such little amateur experience. So he was full of praises for him back then, and he saw him as very, very formidable and someone that he didn't seem to relish the idea of fighting down the road. But things have changed, obviously. And I think the Dillian Whyte fight changed a lot. The Dillian Whyte fight has changed the public perception of Anthony Joshua, and it's changed the perception that many boxers have of him. I think people like David Haye and other fighters saw a vulnerability in Anthony Joshua, not just in terms of his punch resistance, because he did get hurt in that 2nd round, and I'm convinced myself that that wasn't even the full power of Dillian Whyte. Never mind the full power of some of those other heavyweights out there. And yet Anthony Joshua was seriously hurt for a few seconds there. But that's not the only vulnerability he showed. He showed defensive vulnerability. He was sloppy. There was a lack of head movement. He looked stiff. And he looked quite crude in there, particularly in the rounds which followed the 2nd round. And with the 2nd round itself and a couple rounds after that, he wasn't looking too clever in there. He was looking pretty sloppy. So David Haye has seen all that, seen the technical vulnerability, seen that Joshua's still quite raw. And he's thought to himself, you know what, now's the best time to get this kid. So I'd like to fight him ASAP. But if he did fight Joshua now, would he knock him out in the round? I'm sure there's a lot of people who probably will be putting some money on that if that fight did take place. Personally, I don't think Joshua did himself any favors in the Dillian Whyte fight. I don't think he fought to the best of his ability from a technical point of view. And I expect to see a more polished looking Anthony Joshua when he takes on Charles Martin. But let me know how you feel, people. Do you think, I mean, obviously David Haye still has a certain amount of praise for Anthony Joshua, but the way he is acting, the way he wants to fight him and the things he's saying, he's obviously not that impressed anymore. So yeah, let me know what you think about that. What would happen if Haye fought him? Let's say Haye fought him this year. What do you think would happen? Does Haye just see Anthony Joshua as a hype job now? You know, let me know, people. Let me know in the comment section below. Go have a watch of the interview for yourselves and tell me what you think. All right.